All right, welcome back to Problem Solver Politics. I'm your host, Cardin Ellis, with Cody the Oracle.
Hey, everyone.
Okay, and today, wow, we got a lot to talk about. I don't even know how to start this out. Basically, looks like it was wildly successful. Andrew Yang's not giveaway, and a lot of people question whether or not it was an FEC violation. But the FEC is closed for business right now in an election year because they can't get a quorum assembled together in order not to declare whether it's a violation or not. But a bunch of lawyers have said it isn't, while a bunch of pundits and other lawyers have said it is. So we're just going to analyze all of this really fast. But before we do, make sure if you want to contribute to our channel, you check us out on the PayPal link below. If you guys want to buy one of the Problem Solver Politics hats, there's also going to be a link on problemsolverpolitics.com. If you can like this video and share it, that will help us because Google now is no longer recommending a lot of independent talk in comparison to other mainstream media outlets. So anyway, without further ado, Cody, what is going on?
To be honest, not a whole lot really is. I guess the biggest thing that happened from Andrew
The
Yang,
whole lot that's not going on is kind of the news because it duplifies us.
For anyone who missed out on this, Andrew Yang announced the debate on Thursday that he was going to be having a giveaway, a raffle. Basically, he was going to pilot the Freedom Dividend with 12 families. And you could just come here and sign up. They're going to give away $1,000 a month to 12 different individuals for 12 months, so total about $1 million. $128,000, something like that. Anyway, all you have to do to sign up, very easy, was first and last name, email, and zip code. So, what did that mean for the Yang campaign, right? Well, it means that over 455,000 people have signed up, and more importantly, given their email addresses to the campaign. They say 90% of those are new email addresses. Also, he raised $1 million in 72 hours since the debate. $1 million in 72 hours. I believe he raised a couple million. He raised, $2.8 million in the third quarter and in the second quarter alone. So $1 million in 3 days. A lot of money. Like I said, 90% of the 450,000 email addresses he obtained were brand new. So I was questioning what this was actually going to mean when he ran it out. To be frank, I didn't love it originally. But holy cow, we have to say it's a massive success at this point. He raised $1 million, got 400-something thousand email addresses now to add to his email list. You could probably convert 450,000 email addresses into what? At least another couple $100,000 at least.
Just selling the list. I mean, traditionally, the value of selling a list goes anywhere from 50 cents an email address to up to $2.50.
But for a campaign, he's just going to be flagging them with donations. Hey, what? Like a quarter of them give you $1. It's $100,000. That's not too bad. So that is the biggest thing they gave away. It ends 11:59 p.m. Eastern time Thursday night. That was better to spend the campaign money to give back to the people rather than spend it on TV ads and political consultants. Now we're going to get down a little bit more to the FEC
but hold
part.
On. Let's read that again, though. It has proven better to spend the campaign money giving it back to the people rather than spend it on TV ads. Is that not basically the premise of universal basic income? That it's better to cut out the middleman of all these wildly expensive third-rail social programs and just give it to the people directly, like Utah's homeless program did, like Alaska's pipeline did, than it is to create a bureaucracy that tries to run people's life. And he himself said, didn't he say, and tell me if I'm stealing your thunder here, Andrew Yang himself said, I don't see why this should be a big deal, even though I could see why it could potentially be a big deal. But he was saying, if I were to spend $1 million on a bunch of canvassers and consultants, nobody would bat an eye. But if I give it back directly to the people, it all of a sudden becomes a controversy.
Yeah, he said if I gave $1 million to media companies or consultants or hired like a small army of canvassers, no one would blink an eye. But if we give the money directly to the American people, somehow it's problematic. So it just speaks to how messed up our system is. We're giving money directly to the Americans actually raises eyebrows, which I agree. Yeah, like this is one of those things that when it comes to is it actually a law or violation or not?
Well, that's what I was digging in.
It's kind of ticky-tacky where it's like, what he said makes sense. Like, yeah, realistically, is $1 million in commercials that much better than just giving the money to people? Is it that? Like, especially because remember, it's not like he's going to people and bribing them to vote for him. He's just saying, "Hey, give me your email address and you'll have a chance to win." I mean, it's what Dell Computers does. So I don't think that's too interesting. But I think what you're going to talk about, and I want to get into the other perspective, right?
Okay.
So there's the other perspective. Some people are saying that maybe it's not This is from Brendan Fisher, the Federal Reform Legal Director at the Campaign Legal Center. He said, the campaign stunt is of dubious legality at best. Handing campaign funds to supporters comes awfully close to violating the personal use prohibition, but Yang seems to be going ahead because he knows that the paralyzed FEC can't tell him no. While they can't tell him no, in the next 5 years, they could throw him in jail. So I do think he wants to make sure it is not a violation. According to him, it isn't, and they've said reasons why. So I don't want to get too lost in the weeds, but that is part of it.
Yeah, and this controversy is actually of importance. The silence here is actually of great importance because it speaks to the efficacy or absolute non-efficacy of government. We have this thing called the Federal Election Committee, right? And these people, the FEC, as it's called for short, are the ones that are in charge of making sure that everybody runs their elections above book, that all of the polling machines aren't substandard, so we don't have hanging chads, that all of the dates are met, that the quarterly reports are met. I mean, this is a massive bureaucracy that's actually pretty good, because I've dealt with it a lot, in the sense that they care that everything is run fair. Okay, these are the arbiters and these are the people that are the referees of the elections, right? However, they've got appointed officials just like many other bureaucracies do. And unfortunately, unable to hold a quorum, meaning having enough of their directors present on their board of directors. Okay, actually, I don't know if the body is a board of directors or what it's a board of, but they don't have enough of their chiefs, okay, around that they can actually opine on what is a violation or not. And there's some serious questions here. Is Andrew Yang just giving away money? I think if he would have actually said, we're participating in a study to prove to the American people as an act of publicity that the freedom dividend works and improves people's lives, I don't think people would have batted an eye at that. But because during his debate, he said, today we're going to give away, and he used the word giveaway, I think it improperly and optically misframed the argument as a giveaway instead of a sociological and scientific analysis of whether or not UBI improves people's lives, stress levels, family lives, so on and so forth, okay? So what we would do usually in this situation, if I were Zach Grumman, who is in charge of Andrew Yang's campaign, or I were Joe Biden's campaign manager and wanted to cry foul, what would we do? We would call the FEC and say, hey, you guys are the referees. In this situation, what happens? How do we move forward? When a guy shoots a three-pointer and the ball gets stuck in the rim, which rarely happens, gosh, what's the rule? You ask the referee, right? Our government is so incompetent, during an election year, the FEC can't pull a quorum. That's the same as if during a wartime year, the Joint Chiefs of Staff didn't have enough guys to be able to actually show up and advise the president. Because, you know, they're kind of stuck in the muddy waters of bureaucracy and haven't been able to push through their appointees. So to me, this is all just a more stronger argument for Andrew Yang's UBI because it proves the inefficiency of bureaucracy. Let's just take the money that's put towards food stamps, and instead of them have these crappy lists of foods that we're allowed to accept or not accept that don't have the right proteins or don't have enough citric acid or don't have enough vitamin C or whatever, let's just give it to the people. Moms know what their children need to eat. Moms are interested in making sure their kids get a nutritious meal. Let's just give the money we would have spent on the bureaucrats to the moms. There. Food stamps. Don't really need too much of a middleman. Let's just write the checks if we're already taking the money. You know, and you know what? We might end up fiscally saving ourselves cash and shrinking the size of government if we actually do that. We might fulfill both a socially liberal and a fiscally conservative desire simultaneously. We can actually kill two birds with one stone here. I mean, am I going wrong here, Cody? Did you, or am I just out in the weeds here? Or does this seem like a good idea?
Yeah, I'm sure the reasons why the FEC can't get their stuff together is 30-fold. We can spend hours talking about it. So the big takeaway I have from it, though, as a whole, is that part of their current understaffing, I believe they have 3 of the 4 they would need and 3 of 6 total. They actually can't offer advice to politicians. in political committees and seek it. So I do kind of wonder a little bit how sure Andrew Yang can be doing everything in the right. That being said, also, please keep in mind campaign finance violations happen to everyone all the time. Obama paid $100,000 in fines. It's part of running for president. You're going to do things that, not always great. Especially, I believe, because in 2008, similar thing. There was an understaffed FEC in 2008. So again, there was no quorum. So I believe that's the biggest glaring issue here is they are not able to go to them and ask them for help. So I think that's where it actually can start damaging. But here's the other thing I wanted to bring up just while we're talking about Andrew Yang's, raffle donation giveaway. Not everybody, mainly the media. For whatever reason, the media hates that he did this. And I wanted to bring up this article from the Washington Examiner, and it's just kind of interesting to me. They said Yang requests donations from Freedom Dividend raffle entrants. A Democratic presidential candidate and entrepreneur Andrew Yang made a splash during Thursday's debate by announcing he'd be giving away $1,000 a month for a year to 10 lucky Americans who enter his Freedom Dividend raffle. But now he's looking to them for donations to his campaign. The raffle, which boldly boasts no strings attached on the landing page of Yang's campaign website, asks only for entrants' name and email addresses. In a Saturday morning fundraising email, however, Yang asks raffle participants to chip into the cause, which is a pretty big no-brainer. Like we said, that's why he boasted about how many emails he added to his email list. He's going to email them and ask them for money.
Well, and
so
also,
I thought that was I've heard some people bring that up, like, oh, you have to donate, or he's trying to get donations from people, and it's some like jaded, cynical thing. It's like, what? That is the plane here. He has the raffle. He gets your info. Some people win. He gets your information to ask you for money. Like, that's the play. So I thought the confusion around that was really interesting because, like I said, there seems to be some confusion around two things. One, is it legal? It seems like the answer is who cares? Doesn't matter if it's legal. And then two, do you have to donate? Is he some jaded? No, I think that's part of it. Yes. He wants your information. The easiest way to get your information is to offer something in return. Entrance into a, $12,000 grand prize. That's a pretty good way to do it. I think that's what we're seeing here. And I think that's one of the reasons why he raised $1 million, added 400,000 emails to his email list, and has gotten, not all good, but he's gotten plenty of publicity for it. And that's why I think it is. I think it's because this, in the end of the day, really did end up being a big win for the Yang campaign.
Yeah, I definitely agree it was a big win. I disagree when you say that, oh, is it legal or not? Well, who cares? I mean, I am a huge I'm not the ends justify the means guy. In fact, I probably pay way too much attention to the means more than the ends, But I do have to say, it seems to have worked. Yes. If we analyze the ends, not only did it seem to have worked, it seemed to have been wildly more effective dollar per dollar than having spent the amount of money that he's giving out on the UBI on TV commercials or radio commercials or Facebook ads. And I'm surprised that they didn't actually just say one in every single state. There's been chatter for a long time about them wanting to replicate what they did in Iowa and in New Hampshire in all of the states, but he ended up only choosing 10. And I do continue to say that I disagree a little bit with the analysis of the Washington Examiner. They're very conservative over the Washington Examiner, and it was actually founded to be a response to what was perceived as the very liberal Washington Post. And I think they're falling a little bit into the trap of most conservatives where they just say, oh, socialism's one big fat giveaway. And it behooves the Andrew Yang campaign to continually clarify that the UBI is saving capitalism. Reestablishing capitalism is the way that we need to function our economy in the American economy in the 21st century. And is capitalism where everybody starts at 1,000 instead of just 0. Okay, and Andrew Yang really has to ride this wave of publicity and take advantage of this. So not only is this a success, not just in the realm of how many emails he got, but also in the ideological conviction where he can take a chunk out of the libertarians and the people that voted for Donald Trump and the moderate conservatives and even possibly the fiscal conservatives once they see that Milton Friedman actually supported the UBI. And interestingly enough, they had an old head of the FEC on a CNN interview in which he said, you know what, I actually think his lawyers would say if pulled in front of the FEC, because yes, the FEC does not give direct advice itself. It adjudicates events, but there's lawyers that consult beforehand, and I'm sure Andrew
that's part of the
Yang's-
FEC as well. Part of the FEC's structure is that they're there so candidates and campaigns can reach out to them and say, hey, is, for example, this plan we have within the guidelines of the law?
Yeah, but
And
I'm
they
just
can tell
saying
them yes or
they
no.
couldn't in this case.
Oh, no, now exactly. Because they're
Yeah.
understaffed, they can't do that, which I think is a
So
massive, that's the bigger thing than anything, because
Yeah.
people are going to make mistakes if they can't come and ask you because the laws are so dense. But here's my last little thing on this. Now,
Okay.
the way I understand
Before
this-
you say your last little thing, let me just finish my thought. That they had the old FEC head on, and he said, I believe his lawyers, if they pitch it as his giveaway got him email addresses, which actually benefited the campaign, then that's how it would be marketed as legal in our eyes. And he used to be one of the FEC heads. But even that, for me, opens up a huge potential for what Benjamin Franklin said, the people voting themselves money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I mean,
why don't you
that's
just have
the
more
larger-
giveaways with all of your, like
well,
actual giveaways, not
but
just
the way
UBI
I understand
tests.
it is there's a law saying that any money noted as campaign funds for any reason
Yeah.
donated to a campaign, that money cannot be spent for anyone's personal gain. Meaning Andrew Yang can't give me $1,000 a month and I can't spend it on personal gain because they're campaign dollars. You can, I'm sure, just move money around, which is probably what they're going to do. So that money's not the actual money given to you. You know what I mean? I think I think they talked about the actual payout. They'll like be sponsored with another group and they'll do the payout. They'll move the money around, something goofy like that. So that's that. But no, what I thought's funny is doing some research. There's a 5-year statute of limitations on campaign finance violations.
Uh-huh.
So all you got to do, go all out, win this election. Don't ever let anybody get appointed to the FEC, and then just stall out another 4 or 5 years, and then you could just reappoint the FEC, and
Well, if
all
you-
your violations go away. The statute of limitations up.
Well, you can't indict a sitting president either. So if Andrew Yang makes it to the presidency
go 2
and he's
terms,
got
you're
those
safe.
4 years, no, he wouldn't even have to go 2 terms.
Well, that'd be 5 years from.
No, it's 4 years from January 20th.
5.
Oh, you're right. There could, if he was a 1-term president, there'd be a 4-month
Window where they can get him.
window where actually no,
They wouldn't
because-
staff it though. If he
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to staff it. You're right.
even if they wanted to in 4 months, I don't know. I thought that was kind of humorous, right? Where it's like, because the statute of limitations is shorter than 2 presidential terms, so you can't
Yeah.
just go all out and then make sure there's no FEC. But
So Tom Steyer should just be literally buying votes.
yeah, why not? What are they gonna do? Nothing.
I participate in elections where it's been as much as about $7 to $14 per dollar spent on actual votes, you know, and that's considered a very expensive candidate. Okay. Or if you look at all their campaign donations and all the dollars that they get, I think for presidents, it's like $3. I can't remember what it is. So I don't want to misquote myself right now, but it's really interesting. You have to look up candidates and their dollars spent per vote ratio, which is basically an electoral equivalent of a return on investment. And I'd be curious what Andrew Yang's ROI is right now. You know, what his dollars spent per vote would be with
for the-
stunts like this.
Very good.
And just think, if this works out, why doesn't Tom Steyer just buy the next election, right?
Well, it depends on the FEC staffing. But yeah, so anyway, though, guys, that we thought that was interesting. I wanted to highlight it. I was not on board with it, admittedly. It was a big success. Raised a lot of money. Got hundreds of thousands of new emails with people to reach out to raise even more money. People asking if it's legal or not. Like I said, it seems to me the answer is who cares? Even if it is illegal, you can't get in trouble for it. I do think there's ways you can move money around and make this work. So I'm not too concerned about that angle of it as well. Wow, what a win for Yang. And
Yeah.
at the same time, what a great way to really, like you said, highlight why the UBI could be so important in the first place. Why this is not just a test and why he's planning to run this across the nation. I think this is a great job of highlighting.
Yeah. So let us know what you guys think below. Let us know what you thought about the UBI giveaway, about past ones, potentially future ones. Just please, if you haven't liked this video yet, like it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you want to contribute to the channel, check out the PayPal link in the description or hang out with us on Tuesdays and Thursdays when we do our super awesome streams. And if you guys want to purchase a hat, make sure you check it out at problemsolverpolitics.com. We'll see you guys in the next video.